We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Whoa ya ya, 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 whoa ya ya.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to worship. I invite everyone to wave at everyone else. It is good to see familiar faces and new faces. We're glad that this can be a place of solace and hope for people from near and far. My name is Debbie Norton, and I am honored to serve as lay worship weaver this morning, along with our tech people, Sean and Margaret, who are working behind the scenes for us, and I believe Kelly, not Margaret, sorry. I will now read to you the words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness, overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And now we invite you to type into the chat box where you're Zooming from. And we can, I'll share with you who we have here. Rev Linda is coming from Mount Vernon, Virginia, and Sharon is in Pantops. Ellie is coming from Charlottesville. We've got Anna in Richmond. We've got people in Earlysville. Leia's coming from the TJMC office. We've got the Terry, Amy, and Riley from Crozet. And some Cindy and Ivy. Now let's all sing together. Thank you for coming this morning. As we worship together, we respond to the light of the flaming chalice, a symbol of our faith in all we love. We have asked the Gastinger family to lead our chalice lighting this morning.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of open minds. This is the church of helping hands. This is the church of loving hearts.
Sean has, thank you, Gastingers. Sean has lit a chalice, which will have its own screen throughout the service. If you have a chalice in your home, please light it now.
There's a river somewhere and it flows through the lives of everyone. It flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Hi, I'm Reverend Linda, and it's so good to be with you today. I'm so glad to be here. That's a favorite song of mine, and I'm going to be singing it a little bit while my friend Leah shares with you an old story. It's a classic of children's literature called Paddle to the Sea. It's written by Holland, and this is not exactly his words, but she's going to tell the story so that we can share it together. Leah.
Good morning, everyone. Our story starts once upon a time in the high west part of Canada. A young child carved a wooden model of a canoe. The child wanted this little boat to travel all the way to the sea. They wished that they could go too. But even if they couldn't leave home and travel that far, the child hoped this boat would make it. Now, this young person knew the waters of the river were treacherous. Sometimes the water was smooth on the surface, but could have turbulent currents below the surface. And sometimes the water turned into rapids and tossed boats upside down or to the shore. So on the side of the canoe, they roughly carved the words, "Please put me back in the water. I am paddle to the sea." They hoped if the canoe got washed ashore, that someone would read the words and get the boat back to the current. The child put the boat in a little creek and set it free to travel down the stream to a little lake and then on a larger stream to the Great Lakes, a big water they had only heard about. The child was a little sad and a little excited as they said goodbye to the tiny canoe. As they watched it float away from them, they sent along their hopes and good wishes with it. The child wondered how far it would go and who it might meet along the way.
There's a river somewhere and it flows through the lives of everyone. It flows from the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yes, it do. Yes, it do.
After the child said goodbye to the little canoe, the boat traveled pretty far for a number of days. Then it came along some piled up wood logs, and it got stuck. Luckily, a French-Canadian lumberjack saw the little canoe just as it was going along with the logs to be sawed up by a big, powerful circle saw. The lumberjack swooped in just in time and read the message the child had carved on its side. "Please put me back in the water. I am paddle to the sea." So he did just that. He took the little boat and carefully waded out into the deeper part of the water and set it free to flow on the river current. The little canoe faced many dangers, like a fire near the water, and pollution clogged up the rivers. And each time someone picked up the canoe and admired the little boat, the inscription was always obeyed. "Please put me back in the water. I am paddle to the sea." Once someone found the inscription had gotten very worn, and they added a metal plate bearing similar words. As the canoe traveled, those who found it began to scratch their locations onto the metal plate, and then they sent it on its way. Our little canoe traveled through all 5 Great Lakes. It even went over Niagara Falls, and then it flowed into the Great St. Lawrence River.
There's a river somewhere and it flows in the lives of everyone. It flows through the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yes, it do. Yes, it do.
Finally, after many years, and after many people had found it and rescued it and put it back in the water, the canoe arrived off the coast of Newfoundland at the Atlantic Ocean. And there it was caught in the nets of a French fishing boat, and it was taken all the way to France. A fisherman discovered the little boat when they arrived in France, and he was amazed. He told the story of the little canoe and its long journey to a reporter who put the story in a French newspaper. A copy of the paper arrived back in Canada when a French cousin of the lumberjack sent the story to his Canadian cousin. This was the very same lumberjack who first saved Little Paddle to the Sea so long ago. He recognized it and showed the story to his coworkers. By chance, the original maker of this little canoe, the little child, was now all grown up and was working there as a local guide. They recognized their boat, but they did not tell anyone. Instead, they whispered to the picture of the boat, "You, little traveler, you made the journey, the long journey. You now know the things I have yet to know. You, little traveler, you are truly paddle to the sea."
There's a river somewhere and it flows through the lives of everyone. It flows from the mountains and the valleys and the meadows of time. Yes, it do. 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 Thank you, Leah.
So ends our story.
I invite us all now to join in a moment of prayer, meditation, centering, as we are together on this river of life that's flowing through the meadows of our times. Spirit of life and love, known by many names or no name, power that sustains us, let our hearts be open to gratitude for all good things. Gratitude for friends who care and for joys in our lives. And let our pains and sorrows find comfort and support in the compassionate embrace of one another and in our faith in the power of love. Let inward love guide all we do and say as we journey together. Well, hello, Charlottesville. Again, I'm going to keep saying hello for quite a while, I think. It is so very good to be here. So glad that my life journey has brought me to join your journeys for a while. I've known your congregation from a distance for many years. I've been a colleague and a friend of Leah since we first met back in the 1990s, not long after she started here with you all. And I've known a number of your members and ministers over the years. I am truly honored to have been invited to be here as your interim lead minister. I am struck with the sense of the sacredness of this meeting. We have come together, all of us on our own journeys of life. We've come together now, and for a little bit of time, we're swimming in the river of life together on our way to the ocean, just like Little Paddle to the Sea. This is such an important time in the life of your congregation on your continuing voyage to the sea. In recent years, you have been through turbulent times within your congregation, but also in your town, in the state, in the nation, in the world. All of us are struggling this year with the COVID crisis and all that has meant to our lives, and the impact of the incredible awakening around Black Lives Matter. And this week, we're observing the 3rd anniversary. It's been 3 years since that hate and violence filled your streets and still impacts the lives and psyches of so many of you. I do hope you'll be able to attend the online interfaith commemoration. It's this Wednesday evening at 6:30, and we have a link on our website. And of course, I hope many of you are able to be at the beautiful service that the Worship Weavers put together last Sunday. If you missed it, I'm hoping you can see a recording of it. We're in the midst of a crisis in our US democracy. We're facing an election season, which is perhaps the most important ever in our nation. What a time for us to get together, to see what we can do together, to care for one another, to prepare for the storms we've been in, but also the storms that might be headed our way. Now, some of you may have been here during other interim ministries in the past, and others of you may have no idea what to expect from my time with you. What I want to say to you this morning is that together, we will continually be helping one another understand how I can best help you as you figure out what has been going on and as you prepare for the next era in your congregation's life. In the weeks to come, you're going to hear more details from me about the tools and the techniques of interim ministry. But today I wanted to talk about metaphors, because metaphors often help me understand better what's going on in life, especially when there's some situation that's not real familiar with me, and I have to figure out what's it like, something that I do know well. So to answer a question like, what is interim ministry, or what is supposed to happen this year, I'm going to speak in a metaphor this morning. Now, in one congregation I served as interim, I found the metaphor of gardening to work well for them. The gardeners are between seasons. They're stepping back from the beds, the landscaping, the bushes and the flowers. And the gardeners are pausing to take a look. They're not going to plant anything new, but they're taking this time to work the soil, loosening or feeding it, taking time to observe the patterns of sun and shade, seeing what kind of plants have been thriving or what kind of plants have not done well in their location, and thinking about what kind of new plants might be able to survive. In this time, the gardener takes a period to help be ready for the arrival of a new plan with the help of a new settled minister. The interim minister leaves and the new settled minister comes in, and that person will work with the gardeners to make the decisions about landscaping and planting. My role as an interim is not to come into your garden and dig up everything you've planted, but rather to help you notice things, to ask questions, and to guide your conversations about decisions that you might make if it makes sense to you and you have the energy for it. Now, there's another metaphor which came up in another congregation I served, and actually it came from, I quoted a longtime professional interim minister who gave it to me, and so when I brought this to another congregation, they loved it. And that is the metaphor that an interim minister is like a harbor pilot. A harbor pilot is a skilled specialist who is assigned to a large sea vessel to aid in navigating that vessel when they enter the unfamiliar waters going into and out of a harbor. The harbor pilot lends some sort of expertise to the particular challenge at hand. They know that the waters well, and they know where the hazards are, and they know where the deep channels are, and they know how to get smooth passage past any obstacles. And usually they help them find a place at the harbor on the dock where they can do repairs, get new supplies, maybe train new crew. Like an interim minister, the harbor pilot's only with this vessel for a short while. And it's a partner. That person is a partner to the existing and continuing crew of the vessel. So I'm here just a while to partner with your elected leaders, some of whom I've met and already think is exciting, and some of whom I will get to meet. And of course, your awesome staff. I partner with everyone because our mutual success, in the metaphor, it's not crashing the ship against the rocks. Our mutual success depends upon communication and trust. Now, when a harbor pilot comes on, sometimes things have to be adjusted for a short time under the pilot's guidance. While you're being sailed into a harbor, while you're getting the new supplies loaded on, and while the regular business has to go on as well. In a church, the ministry and the caring for one another. Now, at first, when that new harbor pilot jumps on board, it might seem a little strange since the pilot and the crew don't know each other. But after a little bit of time of sailing together successfully, people get used to the harbor pilot. And they might say, oh, why can't we just stay together? Why can't you just be our pilot forever? But here is where the metaphor is especially true for interim ministers. My work is to strengthen your relationship to one another, not to me. My work is to equip you for your own nurturing ministries, not for my ministry. When the time comes, we will leave one another, and I will be so very happy to see you launched on your journey. I am the harbor pilot for this moment in time when you need to get into the harbor and do some repair work, some strengthening work, some resupplying work. But you know, ships were made to be sailing on the open waters. You have many places to go, I know. And with that, you will want a new minister. And so an interim minister, like a harbor pilot, is just with you for this time. And so, my dear Charlottesville beloved, and I say beloved because even though I'm just beginning to meet you, I'm already falling for you. My dear Charlottesville beloved, whether you're gardeners seeking sunlight and fertile soil to grow and bloom in, or if you're sailors navigating a long river through choppy waters, you are members of this covenanted community. And no matter what metaphor we end up finding helpful for us together, it could be a new metaphor. No matter what the metaphor is, I want you to know we're going to work together to figure out what am I doing here and what's going on with you all. We'll figure it out together. And I want to assure you, even though we've had one disaster after another, it seems, the last few years, and in spite of the catastrophe of our current national politics, in spite of the climate crisis, which is weighing down on us fast, in spite of the coronavirus changing all our lives, in spite of the hurt of the last few years within this congregation and in your community, I want to assure you all is well and all will be well. We will make good use of this time in the interim, this time in the harbor, this time where we look at your garden. We will work to make you more nurturing and stronger than ever. Stronger to be the sailing vessel that a faith community is meant to be able to hold the precious cargo of people's lives and hopes and dreams, and then to be able to sail out on those open waters where maybe you'll be facing the storms of turbulent times again. And maybe you'll be going around the world to encourage others along the way. And to encourage them that life can be good and that we can face turbulent storms together. And that through it all, we'll all be sailing together. Whatever happens now and in the coming days, I'll be here for you and you'll be here for each other. One of my favorite songwriters, Pat Humphreys of Emma's Revolution, sings that we are swimming in the stream together, and some of us are in power and some in pain. As we cherish those we journey with in our lives, she sings, loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. May it be so. I'm so looking forward to being with you. Amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend Linda. We're so grateful to have you here, and your words are inspiring to us all. Each week, the offering is an important part of our time together. It is through our gifts of financial support that we put the spirit of love into action and send our gifts to the world, even as we offer our love to our neighbors. We are grateful for your generosity and for your spirit of compassion and connection. Our tech crew is putting up a slide to let you know how to send your gifts. Online donations are possible through the website using PayPal. Also, you can text using this text link, 44321 give TJMC. And just as they have for many years, the U.S. Postal Service continues to deliver many checks each week. We hope that you can find it in your heart to give at this time, this difficult time. And we're grateful for all the many gifts that we all share when we come together. Thank you so much.
Our friends, it has been wonderful to be with you this morning. And I hope that in coming weeks, you'll invite others to join us for worship each week so that this time can be a source of hope and strength throughout the world. Invite your neighbors, invite people you work with, invite your friends and family, invite anybody you meet on the street. Anybody who lives anywhere in the world can join us. That's the beauty of online worship. And I hope many of you can remain to talk with me following the postlude music. We're going to get to hear your wonderful music director, Scott, singing for us in the postlude. And so now, each of us will extinguish the chalices we lit. But I ask each of you, remember to take that flame and put it in your hearts so that you can keep the light of love alive to share with everyone you meet. Have courage on your journey into this week, wherever it takes you. We're all in this together on our journeys, and many blessings along the way. May it be so. Amen.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya, whoa ya ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Whoa ya ya, 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 whoa ya ya.